Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV, and finally, we have reached the end of the series. We have the 8th episode and series finale of the American crime drama television miniseries The Penguin. Once again, a spinoff from the film The Batman. We have a great or little thing. We are finally at the end of this thing, and now we can shift our focus to Squid Game. It's not that I was eager to get this done, but holy shit, man, it was a ride. Obviously, the series developer wrote this, Lauren LaFranc, and it was directed by Jennifer Getzinger, who I think is her first time actually directing one of these things. Well, you know how these go. We're going to talk about what happened. This is a pretty beefy, long finale, so we'll talk about that, what people think of it. This is obviously very critically acclaimed, given that is the finale of the show. No more seasons. This was supposed to be a limited time miniseries, so we're going to have to see what they do with the Batman universe and all that stuff. So let's go. So getting into kind of what happens here, Dr. Rush gets Frances to reminisce over her past with the use of EMDR. It's like this red light therapy stuff. In a flashback, Frances is visited by Rex Calabrese, so now we're kind of learning a little bit more about Oz and obviously Frances' past, who offers to pay for the funeral for Jack and Benny. Rex brings up her sidelining Oz, but Frances reveals that she found out he locked Jack and Benny in the sewer tunnel, leading to their deaths. She has known all along. This is something that's kind of revealed with this episode, is that she has known all along that Oz was the perpetrator of this. He was the reason his brothers died. So Rex suggests she uses Oz's love for her own benefit, feeling she will be rewarded for it. You know, take advantage of him, kill him, get him the fuck out of here, he killed your sons. However, Frances is not sure she can do it and asks for Rex's help. She takes Oz to Monroe's, where Oz promises to take care of her if she continues believing in him, which was something that happened in the previous flashback, and now that we kind of have those dark intentions, it's pretty fucking crazy. So, in the present day, Victor takes the heads of other gangs to the base of operation, but is shocked to find it destroyed. The leaders decide to leave despite Victor's pleas to fight back. He kind of tries to have his own little Oz cop moment and rally everyone together. A bound and gagged Oz is taken to the Monroe's nightclub, where Sofia brings a bound Frances as well, kind of bringing up his past, you know, reminiscing. Not in a good way, obviously, but there you fucking have it. She uses a tale to explain how Frances knew about Oz killing his siblings, revealing that she initially conspired with Rex to try and kill Oz, and this is the first time Oz is hearing all this stuff. This is news to him. This is completely shocking. She then has Dr. Rush prepare to cut one of Frances's fingers, telling Oz that he must confess to his role in his brother's deaths. This is a crazy fucking scene, and obviously kind of like a gangster type of punishment. Oz maintains his innocence, prompting a desperate Frances to reveal that she always knew. Like, I fucking knew anyway. I didn't need to hear that coming out of your fucking mouth. Sofia releases her, and Frances expresses her hatred for Oz, regretting to be his mother. So all this time, she's kind of been playing dress up almost, and pretending like she liked this guy, and she's trying to just be a fake mother figure. It's fucking crazy to hear that. She breaks a bottle and stabs him in the stomach, but falls unconscious during another dementia episode upon seeing visions of her sons. She can't handle it, obviously. Oz releases himself and kills Sophia's henchmen, including Detective Marcus Wise. So he dies this episode, escaping in a car and taking Frances to the hospital, where she's obviously having a medical emergency. Sophia meets with the heads of the gang, so now the table kind of turns. She meets with them, offering her criminal empire to whoever captures Oz, preparing to leave Gotham for good and kind of start up a new life. She needs to kind of get out of the spotlight, and she is prepared to give the head of one of these guys that brings Oz pretty much a bounty, you know, all of her stuff from her family or inheritance. After treating himself and meeting with Victor, Oz goes to City Hall to talk with Councilman Sebastian Haiti, who he had a confrontation with earlier on in the season. He exposes Sophia's actions, claiming that the base of operations belonged to Maroni, so he pretty much kind of makes up a lie here. He paints the Maronis as killing Alberto, that Sofia retaliated by killing Sal's wife and son, and orchestrated the explosion in Crown Point. So he has this whole fucking alibi to cover his own ass and to get Sofia locked up for good. You know, he's not going to let her escape. Oz offers to give Haiti full credit for restoring peace to Crown Point and ending the gang war in exchange for access to the influence council, so he can kind of help make some laws and maybe bring some awareness to the poor people of Crown Point, which is good, but at the same time we know he's going to use that in very radical ways. Haiti reveals that Mayor Real is investigating Falcon's associates, which includes Oz himself. While Oz is there, Victor receives a call from Link, Zhao's deputy. As Oz leaves, he is ambushed by Zhao's gang and forced to accompany them. So yeah, again, they kind of agreed to this contract put on by Sofia Falcone, and now they are taking him to her operations, where he will be apprehended, probably killed, and then the head of the gang will be given, you know, the fortune. After burning her belongings in her father's mansion, Sofia meets with Zhao's gang in the airport to face Oz to have that confrontation. Suddenly, Link and Zhao's gang turn against him and kill Zhao and her henchmen and release Oz, who forces her to take a ride in the car with him. Again, the tables completely fucking turn. This is quite a roller coaster of a finale. It's kind of crazy, really. While doing so, the other gang leaders are killed by their deputies. So everyone pretty much fucking dies off, like Oz, and we're gonna find out another major character that dies here again. Spoiler fucking warning. I know you guys should already know this. He takes her to the docks where she continues mocking his mother. She doesn't give a fuck. Like, she is a relentless, like a DC villain, like they all are. She doesn't care about her life. She has no regard. She's not from a shitty environment, but she's been kind of rubbed in that shit, you know? Accepting her fate, she turns around as Oz loads a gun. However, she is surprised when helicopters and police cruisers arrive, arresting her. So yeah, Oz's plan worked. He framed her, and now she is going to jail. Oz visits Frances at the hospital and is devastated to learn that she had a stroke, leaving her in a vegetative state. So now he's just gonna have to have his mother there for the rest of his life like that. And again, it's fucking crazy. Once again, Sofia gets framed for something she didn't do. So Oz refuses to accept this and pleads for his mother to claim that she's proud of him, which is weird. Later on, Oz thanks Victor for helping him, lamenting that he saw him during his worst time. Victor confides they're like family. They're kind of sitting on this little bench thing and having a moment. Oz reacts to this, strangling Victor to death, ignoring his pleas. I'm not really sure why he did this. Maybe he had heard the word family and realized what his family's been through and is like, fuck you, Victor. I don't know. After stealing Victor's money, Oz drops his driver's license in a nearby river and walks off. I mean, I guess so they could identify a missing person. I don't know why he did any of this stuff. In Arkham Asylum, Dr. Rush visits Sofia in her cell. He hands her a letter from Selena Kyle, who claims to be her half-sister, and if you know the DC comic book universe and you've seen the Batman and all this stuff, that is Catwoman. Having bought a new car anyway, Oz takes a bedridden Frances to a penthouse suite overlooking the city skyline, stating that he has finally fulfilled his promise to her. A single tear rolls down her eye. And this isn't obviously a tear of joy now that you know kind of her intentions and the backstory. This is a tear of fucking torture. Like, kill me right now, please. He leaves her to join Eve in a dance, who roleplays as his mother, telling him nothing can stop him now. What the fuck? Very weird moment. Outside, the bat signal shines in the distance, which kind of signifies that the Penguin is probably going to return to the Batman franchise and that whole universe with Robert Pattinson. And we know that a movie is coming out in 2027 for Batman 2. So there you go. I think this is really good. I think this is one of the better ways I've seen a show close out, especially after some weak episodes here and there. I think this is a B+. I'm damn near willing to give it an A-. I think this is good. B+ for sure. It's a good episode. There's obviously some things to say about it. There's obviously some critiques I will have. It's not like completely satisfying in the traditional sense, and in actuality a really dreadful ending. Great or Little Thing is a messy episode of television that doesn't always live up to the highs found elsewhere in The Penguin. At least it culminates in a way that says, with its full chest, that Oswald Cobb is a monster, one who will require an equal and opposite good to take him down. Like, at least it paints the picture and shows like this guy has no fucking good in his heart. You know, he'll have that kind of tone in the beginning, and then he'll just turn on whoever, you know? It's crazy. We don't get Eve's perspective on this latest weird and humiliating gig and what's presumably been a long line of them, outside a few pained expressions over Oz's shoulder. But the honest, awful truth is that we don't need to. Oswald Cobb is the king of Gotham now, and that means what he says and believes is true. God help us all, at least as a flickering spotlight in the sky reminds us, until the Batman 2, and that's what that's kind of hinting at. We will be getting a Batman 2, of course, down the line. They've already announced that. It's pretty fucking crazy. The Penguin's gamble on telling a Gotham story sans Batman has paid off in dividends, materializing into one of the best shows of the year and a comic book origin story that speaks at the times without losing sight of the source material's heightened reality. Oz is the Penguin now, like everyone in Batman's rogues gallery, a caricature of his own trauma drawn to criminal means of false liberation. It's sad because I've come to like Oz Cobb far more than Bruce Wayne, in a sense, you know, especially in this universe. I might have even rooted for the villain. I really wanted to see Oz win this one. If you felt the same, the finale will change your mind completely. To the credit of LaFranc and her collaborators, the Penguin proved itself much more. The world didn't need another show about a sad sack, one-dimensional Batman villain, but it did need a show about a woman vying for power that could never be hers. In the end, I'm grateful that the Penguin became that show, even if it had to push the Penguin out of the nest to do it. The best way to look at the Penguin isn't as a bridge between movies, but as a Shaggy dog joke. The Penguin does all this, kills all these people, leaves almost every enemy and ally he has in the world dead, so he can run Gotham City until they switch on the bat signal. If that final shot had been accompanied by an actual rim shot, I think I'd have enjoyed it more, not less. Think you can get away with it, pal? The joke's on you. The Penguin has done a phenomenal job of fleshing out its ensemble, particularly Sofia, Vic, and Frances. But this finale takes things back to the titular character, reminding us that this was Oz's story all along, and he may be even more depraved than we initially thought. Really just bringing us back, because obviously the show has had a lot of asides. Obviously the show has seemed like it has lost focus at times, but now we are officially back with Oz, and it is a great feeling. When Farrell first appeared as the character in The Batman, he was certainly a bad guy, but he was also used as comic relief. After the finale, we now see him for who he really is. Sofia was right. Oz Cobb is a monster. It's great. I mean, honestly, I hated The Penguin Season 1, Episode 8 in so many ways, but I'll admit, it was also one of the best episodes in the entire series. There's a very love-hate relationship with how they ended this up for me. Weren't they all, though? With Oz finally accomplishing his dream for himself and Francis, it's only a matter of time when he'll strike back against his new nemesis, Batman. Again, I love that they build up hype and that they remind us that the Batman Part 2 is coming in a couple of years. I don't know why it's 2027 seems a little crazy. I feel like, especially with how successful this show was, I think they have to at least give us it in 2026. Ending with Oz's high note, The Penguin concludes with a tremendous impact for things to come while leaving a fulfilling send-off for this series. It's cool. I like the way it ended. Some of the actions that Oz had in this episode were a little fucking strange to me, I will say. Again, when I'm talking about comic book adaptations, I don't know if this is exactly how it goes in the comic books. Like, I could be, sound extremely stupid, like, hey dude, that's exactly how it went, so why are you complaining about, the plot choices? I don't know, I feel like killing Vic, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Maybe it just shows how big of an asshole this guy is. He seems like the softy at the beginning, I don't fucking know, an unserious villain, and they just wanted to show, hey, he's brash and he's a fucking piece of shit. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for going on this journey with me and watching this show. Really dope addition to this kind of new universe that we're getting with Robert Pattinson's Batman and Colin Farrell's Penguin, as well as Kristen Miliotti's Sofia Falcone and so many others. So it's been a great ride. Peace out, everybody.